you enjoyed the gunjiyas today? Raise your hands. But when Toastmaster Jyoti at the start of her speech asked, how many of you are foodie? Only 50% of the audience raised their hand. And that's Toastmaster Jyoti, the feedback for you is the proof is in the pudding. You brought in some beautiful gunjiyas today and everybody liked it. So every speech, what you should do is, you should bring such gunjiyas. So that people, rather than asking how many are foodies, you should ask, how many of you want gunjiyas? Have brought in some gunjiyas. I'll see 100% of the people raising their hand. Yeah. That's the way, I think, beautifully started by asking a question, Toastmaster Jyoti, and that is how you can engage an audience. 50% was engaged, you can engage more because you wanted to drive an impact in terms of how from trading to true giving you took your speech to. The speech, because it was about body language and vocal variety, what's very important is that these elements remain in the speech throughout, and I agree with the fact that your positive body language showed throughout the meeting. When you were here talking about the story of you offering your lunch, your body had a shirk, and that shirk actually exemplified the fact that you are trying to showcase that body language. It looked very positive to me, and that's kind of how a speech can be built when you are enacting. A small gesture like this can make an impact on how a body language can be very well used. Then the vocal emotions were there throughout in your speech. Remember the case when Toastmaster Jyoti had to, in front of the principal and the parents, put her case that I had given my lunch as well, and at that point in time your vocal pitch went up. That's a beautiful way of actually stressing in a speech about the fact that, okay, I'm trying to stretch now. It becomes engaging for the audience. So that was, I think, part very well done. The pitch had increased at the points where it needed to increase to bring in the audience traction. And towards the end, there was a message to the audience, which is true giving. What with true giving happens? Why is it important to have a true giving in your story and in the speech as well? So this part was very well done. However, having said that, I have 3 recommendations for you, Toastmaster Jyoti. The first one is I feel the vocal variety in such speeches has to be exaggerated. How? When you did the role play about you giving your lunch and asking the kid about the lunch, you can ask something like, you did do a bit of a vocal intonation, it should be exaggerated. You can do like, will you have my lunch, please? And you give away the lunch, you take back the lunch. That explains that now your tone is different, and that has to be exaggerated that particular way. That's one bit of making an impactful speech. The other one is in terms of this vocal variety and body language in this speech like this should be there throughout. In the latter half, I found the body language slightly missing to say that the first part was impactful. How about the second part? Keep that body language intact and amazing for the people so that they can continue relating to the ways you are moving your posture there. And the final recommendation is in terms of, I felt the story towards the end ended abruptly, immediately post the message. You can always loop it up. Loop it up either with bringing a vocal variety or saying something like, by the way, I wanted to tell you about that foodie that you should have in your mind, in your ways. What I've learned over a period in time is that foodie is not important. What is important is the compassion that you're leaving out to the people. That's where you kind of sum it up in net and net. Having said that, I think a very beautiful way of elaborating a story which touches your childhood brings for us the core memories of how our childhood would have been, and then leaving a very positive message, which is a part of the speech, of how and why it is important to have a true giving nature rather than just expecting from anyone. I'm looking forward to many more beautiful speeches from you, Toastmaster Jyoti. Back to the general evaluator, which is me. Let's have a huge round of applause.